Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Picture International with me, Darius and Anucauskas. Today's the 6th of October 2023. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, the usual quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. So, right, guys, let's jump into the charts before I go further. First of all, Iskumar, hi, good morning. I can see you there in the chat room. Your question, yeah, unfortunately, that's not for me, so maybe somebody else can answer. And I can see Helork, hi to you too. Yeah, good comment. So thank you for that. Thank you. So okay, guys, look, before we jump into the charts, actually, you know what? Let's jump into the charts. No, before, just let's straight away go into those. Nikkei 225. Let me just pick up on where I've left off yesterday. So yesterday I talked about this 200-day EMA. I said to you that, look, we climbed back above it. We kind of started trading above this 200-day EMA. And in a way, if we continue to trade above it, then yes, a larger correction to the upside could be possible. We could aim for that downside resistance line drawn from the high of the 15th of September. So that's my game plan for now, as long as we remain above the 200-day EMA. If we start falling back below it, and we fall below the 31, well, actually not the 31,000 is somewhere around the 200-day EMA. But if we do fall below the this 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci, then yes, this is from where I will start aiming again to the downside. China 50, just a quick update. I mean, they are not open, so they're not doing, I mean, they're chilling this whole week, so that's great. I wish everybody can do that, but yeah, look, for now, I mean, this index is just kind of following what's happening in the world, and it's just following the European, and the US indices, and we saw a bit of a recovery here. You can see, which is fine, okay, but we remained below this upside line, which we broke. And previously I talked about this when I said to you that if we do clear it, then yes, I'll go a little bit lower towards that 12,200 zone. If that gets cleared and we stay below it, then yeah, further declines are possible. But this is the thing, we did drift lower, we did stay initially, but then the next day we kind of reversed back up. But I think that, like I said, there's not much to say here, is just because this one is just following the other indices this week. So okay, that's fine. So, and of course, most likely it will, these are the futures, these are China 50 futures, and most likely they're going to follow today's news events as well, and or should I say the reaction in the market, the China 50 index will follow that. Anyway, ASX 200. So Okay, look, so far so good, because what I said to you before, that in order for me to go lower, I needed to see another drop below that 6,933 territory right here. And if we do stay below it, then yes, I'll go further south. I'll get a little bit more excited with that idea. But we pushed back up. We climbed back above the 6,951 zone. Okay, that's fine. And now my question is, if we do break the downside line, then yes, great. More buyers could join in here, and yes, we could then consider maybe a move towards that 7,000 mark, which we already tested, by the way. But again, or maybe the 7,039.40 zone, which I've talked about previously. That 7,040 zone was a good barrier for a breakout to the downside, and yeah, now we could test it from underneath, from the other side. But look, for that to happen, I need to see a break of this downside line first. The fact that we've pushed back up, okay, that's great, but any move, any pullback towards this downside line could be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. So just keep that in mind. GB Cavobr, GB Cabo, honestly, that's a tongue twister. GB Cavobr, good morning. Good morning to you too. So yeah, look, that's the game plan here, and I think that ASX 200, well, basically that one will react right now to what's going to happen and these fellas. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average, yes, we did retrace on Wednesday. Yesterday we kind of wobbled around. In a way, we remained flat yesterday. If we look at the mark when it opened and when it closed, all indices, the U.S. indices, like the U.S. one, the Dow Jones, the S&P, the Nasdaq, they all kind of hovered around zero, and I mean slightly negative territory, but still around zero. So basically, everybody's flat. So everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen. So look. I know that it's better not to trade before the event because it's kind of really a bit of a coin toss. Like people who go in thinking, yes, I know what's gonna happen, and that's why I'm gonna go in, and it's in this and that. So, and then they go in, and then it works in their favor, and they're like, yeah, you see, this is this. I knew that it's gonna happen. My question is like, why did you not put all your money, all your savings into that position if you knew what's going to happen? So, so that's the thing. I mean, of course, I don't recommend this. I mean, in general, never. I mean, this is a little bit of sarcasm and irony if you didn't get that. But look, I strongly recommend to be careful and be patient today. So I rather wait for the numbers to come out, because not only that the NFPs are going to be interesting. So the current expectation is for a decline from 187 to 170. But also unemployment rate. This is something that the Fed will be watching carefully as well. And the average hourly earnings. We need to keep an eye on those at the moment. Those are expected to increase a little bit, so from plus 0.2 to plus 0.3. And look, at the same time, we're also getting Canada's job numbers, but I think that this news will be more interesting for those who are trading USDCAD, and I'll get to that in a bit. But for now, from the US, I mean, if we are watching the NFPs, then I would say wait for the numbers to come out, or if you have some sort of a strategy which kind of works, where you might maybe are hedging or something like that, then yeah, okay, feel free, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Just the only thing is, promise me that you're not going to risk everything what you have, risk only what you can afford to lose. Have your stop losses in place, and basically just have a cool head on your shoulders. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average, from the technical perspective, I would say for me, I need to see a drop somewhere below this 33,067, something like that, in order to go a little bit lower. That's my downside scenario, and then I'll aim for that 32,740 or this 32,620 zone, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. For the upside, I would like to see, and this is where I think I need to make a few adjustments. Actually, is this working out well? Okay, you know what? Maybe this could still work. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to keep this level for now. This 33,450 zone. If we do clear that one, then automatically we would clear, of course, the this downside line, and then yes, this is where I will start aiming for the upside. So yeah, guys, just be careful, be cautious, and just wait for the numbers to come out. Now, the S&P 500. So yes, this one is also interesting. Look, we found good support near this 42.42 zone. And as I said to you yesterday, the same game plan is valid, that I need to see a drop below the 42.42 territory in order to go to the downside. So I'm still kind of waiting for that one. For the upside, I would like to see a push. Well, actually, at this point, and I think that this is where I need to make a few adjustments. Previously, I talked about this highlighted zone. Something caught in my eye and I cannot get it out. Ugh. Okay, maybe that'll do. So, look, I think I need to kind of redraw this a little bit, because this highlighted zone, I don't think that it's going to be valid anymore. I think that's something else we need to look at here. So, for example, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep an eye on this little hurdle, this 4,357. I like that one because it acted as a good area of support then resistance. So maybe it could now do the role of resistance again. But before that, I will keep an eye on the 200-day EMA. So I think that this is going to be an opportunity for me to, start examining higher levels, because maybe at the same time, if we break the 200-day EMA, we might also break this downside line right here. And, well, we would already kind of break it, but, they would just give some extra confirmation for some upside. But for me, the extra confirmation will come on a break of this 200-day EMA if we do actually stay above it, because I don't need to see something like a false breakout in this case. I just want a nice clear move. If I can get that, great. I'll consider a move back to the upside. NASDAQ 100. So yes, the same as well. The same is valid, as I kept on talking this whole week. So basically, we need to see a drop below the 14,609 zone right here, or 600, in order to consider some lower levels. And then we will aim for the 200-day EMA. And yes, for now, I mean, it's clearly trying to make a move higher, or at least seems like it wants to. But again, I would like to say that I need some confirmation first. So if we do get that pop above the 14,955 territory right here, then yes, potentially more buyers could join in, because at the same time we would climb above the 100-day EMA. Then my next target is the 200-day EMA, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. The German index, DAX. So yeah, as I said already, guys, I mean, watching everything carefully. In terms of European data today, I don't think that there's much. So what do we get? Germany factory orders. Ooh, Germany factory orders improved. Okay, wow, that's okay. That's very good. You know why? Because look, I think, yeah, exactly. I think a month ago, yeah, I was talking about this, and I was telling you guys that, look, German factory orders, they did decline. And let me just double check. I mean, last time it was like in -11 or something like that. -11. Okay, -11.7 was. Yeah, I mean, look, the previous reading that we had in July, because we got the number for August. So now the July reading was that the previous number was at +7.6. The forecast was already for a -4%, and it came out at -11.7. I remember that I was stressing this out, because I said that, wow, that's like a big pain in the bottom for Germany, yeah, so the numbers came out this morning, the German factory orders, and first of all, the previous number got adjusted to -11.3 from -11.7, And the forecast was for a plus 1.8, which was already quite a decent up move, actually. And it came out at plus 3.9. So, well, in that case, I'm kind of leaning here maybe towards some upside, but again, we'll see. Again, there's, like I said, this is not a usual day. Normally, I would say, yes, look, I'm on DAX. I will be a little bit more bullish than bearish. However, given that, yeah, we do have the stuff from the US is coming out, so that might skew everything. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. But look, from the technical perspective on the German 40 index here, the DAX, I'm still sticking to the same game plan where I'm saying that if we do pop and stay above the 15,265 territory, then yes, I will go to the upside towards my 200-day EMA. In terms of the downside, I need to see, well, actually, I'm seeing what I need to see. I'm seeing what I need. Oh, Daredevil Dave, good morning. I can see you there in the chat room. So yeah, good morning. Good morning to everybody else as well who's tuning in right now. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time. I really, really appreciate that. So, but like I said, yeah, coming to the German index DAX, I mean, this is so far doing what I needed to do in order to aim lower, because what I said before, that as long as we stay below this 15,265 territory, then yes, I will continue aiming to the downside. So far, it's looking quite good for the bears. However, it's a very, very thin line. So like I said, stuff can happen later on today. So just keep an eye on the economic calendar and check out the time when NFPs are coming out in your region. So yeah, but it's, look, as much as I want to say that I'm kind of a little bit more bearish than bullish on this one, I cannot, because of this day today. Normally I would say as long as we stay below this territory, I'm gonna go lower. But because it's an unusual day, be prepared for surprises. FTSE 100. So we're seeing a bit of a retracement. And look, this one did retrace, and we are now still trading below the 7,520 territory. So if we do kind of get another, well, if we do continue to get a hold up here, then maybe actually the downside scenario is not off the table. I'm still aiming for my beautiful 7,400 level, which is, by the way, let me just grab this. There we go. And there we go. So this is the area. So this is what I'm targeting. And look, I will continue targeting that as long as we remain below the 7,520 territory, or at least below all of the EMAs. Because if we somehow pop above this, we travel higher, we test the EMAs, but then we struggle to remain above the EMAs, for example, if we do clear those, then yes, like I said, another decline here could be possible. But my first target is this, of course, and this is what I'm keeping an eye on. So the dollar index, so beautiful, beautiful. There we go. I said to you yesterday, keep your eyes on this little hurdle, this 106.54, and there we go. We got the little pop initially, but that's fine. Let's say little false breakout, and then we drifted back down. So I said to you, look, I'm kind of leaning towards the downside a little bit, maybe for a bit of a corrective move lower towards this upside support line drawn from the low of the 18th of July. But I'll get more comfortable on a break of that upside line if I get that. If I don't get that, maybe a bit of a rebound here could be possible. However, I prefer to wait for a push above the 106.54 territory right here in order to go a little bit more to the upside. Yes, the moment I am kind of, let's put it this way, not leaning to anything. Why? Because again, the same story, the same day, the same, like, I really, as much as I like days like this, at the same time, I really don't. Because on one hand, like, okay, great, it brings volatility from which we can maybe try and benefit, from, but at the same time, it is unpredictable, or should I say less predictable. The market is, sometimes, well, in general, it's always 50-50, right? But sometimes you have that like feeling that it's going to go a little bit here or there, because you're kind of seeing some sort of justification. But look, I don't know yet. I hear at the moment I'm kind of I really want to see what's going to happen because look, if the numbers are going to come out lower, lower even than the forecast, and some people are saying, oh, ADP came out much lower, you know, like this is probably going to have its effect on NFP as well, you know, and people do say that, and I believe that this is wrong, and you cannot really gauge that. So it's again, it's coming back to the first point that I've made about people who know, you know, I knew that it's gonna go there, right? I knew that it's gonna go. No, you don't know. You just guessed, honestly. Like no, nobody knows. And okay, you can only probably, I don't know, probably like Goldman Sachs or like Morgan Stanley. They know where something's gonna go, or Jerome Powell. He probably knows, or somebody in his circle. You know, they all know. But we retail traders, we sometimes don't know. But that's why I'm saying. So for us, it's a little bit more difficult. We don't have that information. That's why we're trying to apply technical analysis. We apply, you know, fundamental analysis as well. And we try to kind of raise that, you know, percentage slightly above 50, you know, slightly above 50, drag it maybe 50.1, you know. So if we can get that, that's great. That's amazing. But in general, like I said, yeah, that's why we need to have a good risk management approach. You need to kind of, you know, risk only what you can afford to lose. I cannot stress that enough. But anyway, coming back to the same story here on the DXY. Look, if we do push back over the 106.54, great. I'll consider maybe a bit of a move to the upside. For the downside, it needs to break this upside line, period. Gold. Gold is, well, okay, I have to admit, I was kind of hoping to see a little bit more upside yesterday. But okay, maybe today is going to be the day. Maybe the dollar will collapse, and you know, and we will see gold sparking here, you know, or spiking, not sparking, spiking here, and pushing nicely to the upside. But look, I think that what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark yesterday's high near the 1829. If we do pop above it, then yes, I will go a little bit more to the upside. If we want to consider some lower levels, a drop below the 1815 territory would be required. And that's it. Honestly, I'm not really gonna. This, like I said, this is one of those days where you cannot really rely much on technicals, but at least some sort of logic you need to kind of, you know, provide. So, and this is what I'm trying to do, providing some sort of logic, because again, the markets can be today a little bit unlogical. Silver, and remember that. So yeah, so far this is talking about logical. This is working out so far, okay, because what I said to you yesterday, that as long as we remain below this highlighted territory, then another decline here could be possible. It's so far so good, yeah. Now look, what I'm gonna do here is, in terms of getting more comfortable with the downside, there we go. This current lowest point of October near the 20.69 zone is required to be broken in order to go lower. So if we do get that break, great. I will get more comfortable with the downside. Why? Because a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. And then I'll start targeting my current lowest point of this year near the 19.90 level. Oil. Oil is amazing. It's amazing. It's doing everything what I'm asking it to do. And so far, so good. So basically, we broke yesterday. Yesterday, if you remember, I've redrawn the Fibonacci's here to make it a little bit more accurate. So yeah, and I think it's perfect. I think it's great. And in general, it's working in line with my levels. So probably that's why I'm very happy about it as well. But look, yesterday I said to you that I'm going to aim for this 100-day EMA initially, and if that gets cleared, then my next target is the 50% retracement on the Fibonacci. Well, we did reach my 100-day EMA, so that's great. Now the question is, can we reach the 50% retracement on the Fibonacci, or which is near that 200-day EMA? Maybe we'll reach the 200-day EMA here. So yeah, for now, let's put it this way: I will stick to the downside, and I'll aim for my 50% retracement, and I'll aim for that 200-day EMA. That's it. That's my simplistic approach for oil for today. In terms of the upside, if you're looking for some higher levels, well, at this point, I think the best option here is to wait for a push back above the crossroads between these two trend lines. So if we do clear, you know, kind of this upside line and this downside line. So the crossroads, if we clear that crossroad, then yes, potentially this could attract more buyers into the game. That's my, like I said, all this area right here is going to be something of a neutral one for me. Or in general, it could still be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. So, you know, that's something to consider as well. But if we do see a reversal, a strong reversal to the upside. Natural gas. Oh, by the way, I already gave you a sneak peek, but it's okay. I'll give you a little tease there. Weekly candle here on oil. Look at this beautiful thing. I mean, magical. And after this, you know, a prolonged move to the upside, we're getting now this correction, and yeah, and look how well on the weekly, and that's why I'm targeting this area. I mean, this 50% is also on the weekly chart, coinciding nicely with the 50-day EMA on the weekly chart. So good potential target, really good, because as we can see, we have the tendency to test the 50, and does have the tendency to provide either support or good resistance. So just keep that in mind. And natural gas, there we go. That's my sneak peek. This is what I wanted to show you. I don't know, honestly, I have been talking about this for a while. And look, I said to you that yesterday I was kind of again picking up on this one. I said, wait for that pop, you know, wait for that pop. And there we go, we got the pop. Fantastic. I was talking about this one, I think, since like July or something like that, when it started getting closer to this barrier. And look, fantastic. I can say the one thing, fantastic. Now, it will be fantastic if it's going to stay above that territory. Why I'm saying this? Because I don't want to see on a weekly candle. I don't want to see like a false breakout here. If we do see something like that on a weekly candle, like for example, today it's going to travel back inside here, back below this 200-day EMA, or this upper side of the range. Yeah, that's going to be an indication for me that, you know, we want to go back down a little bit, maybe go for a retracement to the downside, maybe towards these EMAs somewhere here. So, but of course, let's not rush into anything. For now, everything's looking quite bullish. And yes, so as long as we stay above this territory, then I will continue targeting the upside. Cotton, something that you probably don't look at very often, but I like to look at these basically because they do provide them with good opportunities, or they can provide us with good opportunities. Look, with cotton, it's yeah, we're squeezed, right? You can see that we're squeezed. Even MACD here is like, yeah, I need to adjust this a little bit. So we are very squeezed, and we are playing the waiting game here. So in other words, if we do push through the upper side of the range where we are currently sitting in, then yes, great. The same story as with natural gas. I'm not really like creating anything else here. I'm just keeping an eye on this. If we do break this upper side here, okay, great. More buyers could join in. So that's going to be my my game plan here for the upside. For the downside, well, for the downside, pretty straightforward as well. I need to see a drop below the remaining all the EMAs here on my daily chart, and if I get that, great. I will consider a move to the downside, maybe even all the way towards the lower side of this range. Bitcoin. So, not much. Yesterday, we had an attempt to push higher. We had an attempt to go and test that 28,156 territory. Okay, that's good. We did that. We failed to push through it. Wonderful. Coming back down. And again, back to the drawing board. So, in a way, we're still trading above this upside line, which could be seen as a positive. This one's drawn from the low of the 11th of September. So in a way, somebody might say any throwback here could be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. Okay, that's fine. But for me, I would prefer to, in order to go higher, I would prefer to wait for a pop above this 28,156 territory in order to go higher. That's my simplistic approach. Because yeah, just I don't want to risk too much here. This whole area right here is just neutral for me. Ethereum. And by the way, in terms of the downside, I will get comfortable, of course, on the break of the subside line and a drop below the 27,000 mark. Ethereum is doing what I'm asking it to do, so that's great, because I asked it if it's gonna, I asked it kindly if it's gonna fall below this 1668 territory and the remaining kind of EMA, the 50-day EMA, and that would be, and this would place the crypto below all of my EMAs on my daily chart, and I asked kindly Ethereum if they can break this one, and if they can they go lower? Well, so far they're listening to me. So, yes, so far they're listening to me, and it's going lower. And my next target is this upside support line drawn from the low of the 17th of August. Look, I don't know if it's gonna go all the way towards this upside line, but the thing is that if we're gonna go lower, I would say aim for the area close enough, close to it, because if it's gonna stall somewhere near this key support zone right here, near the 1585, without, let's say, touching this upside line, that's a good result already as well. That's gonna be like a fantastic result in general. So just you can grab that one. You don't need to kind of wait for the instrument to actually hit, let's say, something like a line, specific line that you have on the chart. In terms of the upside, now previously I talked about the 200-day EMA, and if we do clear that one, we clear all the EMAs on my daily chart. But I would say yes. I would say, you know what? I think that's the safer option to play. If we do push back over the 1668, then we have a problem with the 100-day EMA again. Then the 200-day EMA. Honestly, you know, it's Fridays. Like I don't wanna overthink certain things where you don't need to overthink, to be honest. So you just have to have a good risk management approach. Let's jump into a few pairs. AUDNZD. So, look, just bear with me. So with AUDNZD, I've looked at this one previously. So far, so good, because this 1.0707 territory is continuing to provide good resistance. Yes, we cleared that line, that barrier a few times this week already, but we failed every time. We failed to stay above it. So now I would say, look, there is the downside scenario is still valid, and we'll still stick to the downside, and I'll continue to aim for my 1.0644 territory right here where my arrow is ending, and that has been a good area of support previously. Let's see if it can do the trick this time too. For the upside, I need to see a pop-up of this steep downside line. Oh, excuse me. A pop-up of the steep downside line. And if I get that, great. I'll potentially start aiming for more upside here. AUDJPY. So this one's a mess. Look. It's kind of forming something of a bearish flag, but again, look, I said to you yesterday that if it's going to stay below this 94.54 territory, I'm going to stick to the downside. What did it do? It didn't stay below it. It popped above it. Okay, that's fine. But I said to you that my upside scenario will be on a push back above this upside line. Well, what did it do? Nothing. It didn't go above this upside line. So it just kind of tested it from underneath. And now if we apply the logic that and apply the scenario that I kept on mentioning, that look, whenever we break a trend line of some sort, we tend to test the trend line from the other side. And this is actually one of those moments. So if we it's like testing the trend line from the other side before kind of continuing to move in the direction of the breakout. So in this point, yes, we did test the upside line from underneath. Can we go above that upside line? We'll have to wait and see. If we do, then yes, I will get comfortable with some higher levels, and especially if we stay above that upside line. If we start falling below, and this is where I think that I will remove this level and remove this highlighted zone here as well. I think I'm just gonna drag it this way, and this is where my next target will be. But I will start looking at some lower levels if we do fall below this 100-day EMA right here. So basically, I'm gonna allow this room here for maneuvering. If it falls below the 100-day EMA, then that's from where I'm gonna get a little bit more excited with the downside. AUDCAD. So still watching and still waiting this one. So yesterday I've picked up on this one the first time. So yes, I really like it. But I will like it even more if we do get my pop above the 0.874445 zone right here. If we can get that, then my next target is this downside line drawn from the high of the 26th of January of this year. So basically from the highest point of this year. I doubt that this will go back all the way up here in this by the end of this year, but most likely this will stay at the highest point of this year. But of course, yes, we're gonna keep an eye on this downside line. If we clear it, then yes, my next target is the 200-day EMA. That's it. For the downside, also a simplistic approach: 0.8625 territory is required here. A break of it is required in order to go lower. NZDCHF. So beautiful. Look at this. I mean, what I'm trying to say here is that it's testing the broken trend line. So this is why what I said that we have that tendency, not all the time, of course, not all the time. Don't get me wrong, but we do have that tendency to test the broken trend line from the other side. And there we go. We got that. So when we broke the upside, this downside line, we traveled higher. We tested the 200-day EMA, found good resistance around here near the 0.54, or should I say 55 territory. Yes, we then retraced, tested this downside line from above, and now it's acting as a nice little trampoline here. So can we go higher? Well, to be honest, let's put it this way: as long as we remain above this downside line, I will continue aiming to the upside, aiming for that this 200-day EMA. If that gets cleared and we clear that 0.55 territory, then yes, more buyers could join in. For the downside, I would like to see a move back below this downside line right here. And if we do fall below the 100-day EMA, then yes, this is from where I'm going to look for more downside. US dollar against the Mexican peso. Boom. So far, so good. Honestly, I am loving this one. This is becoming one of my favorite ones, honestly. It's just because it's so technical and I'm really loving it. So look, a while ago I had a range, if you remember. So this one was the upper side here, and this is it. So we broke it, and then we drifted back inside the range. Then we found support somewhere here near this 50-day EMA and near this 17 level. And I said that if we do fall below it further, then yes, we could go lower. Then we rebounded from that 17 level. We started pushing higher, and I said to you that if we do clear this barrier, the 17.40 zone, I will aim for the 200-day EMA again. We aimed, we tested it, fantastic. Then we got a hold up and said, okay, we will retrace back down. And I said to you that, look, as long as we stay somewhere above the upside line or the EMAs here, then there is still a chance for this one to push higher. But if you're looking a little bit more, cautious, or for something a little bit more cautious, I said to wait for that pop-up of the 17.71 zone together with the 200-day EMA. If we get that, my next target is the 18 level. Tick, tick. Now, what I didn't expect that it's going to go all the way towards that 1840 zone, my next target straight away. So, okay, that's a good result in general. So now my question is, look, can we go higher? But the only problem is that I think that we need to control our appetite a little bit, because look, I do have this important area of resistance right here, starting from the 19.18 to 19.29. So good potential target, good potential idea here, but you know what? I think that maybe a bit of a retracement here first could be possible, something like this. Maybe even it could go all the way down here towards that 200-day EMA. So look, first let's keep this scenario on our tables. Let's see if this 1840 zone continues to provide good hold up, good resistance. Yeah, if we do get a hold up and we start drifting back down, then all eyes are in that psychological 18 zone. If maybe it will provide good support. If it won't, it's not the end of the world for the bulls, because they still have a chance, an opportunity to jump in somewhere near this 200-day EMA. USDJPY. Okay, this one is a mess. And I think, you know what I really want to do here? So, I just remembered Spice Girls. So tell me which you really want. Look, what I really want is to remove everything. Why? Because as we can see here, my 148.85 initially it was working. Now I'm seeing it's not working. Unfortunately, you have to adjust when we go like this. When you start seeing that something is working initially, that's fine. But then if it stops working, honestly, don't stick to that. Just remove everything and start fresh. First thing, what I can say here is we're still trading above all of my EMAs here on the daily chart. That's good, right? That's in a way positive. But the fact that we have traveled higher, we tested that psychological 150 zone. Look, I'm not going to be surprised if we do push higher today. For example, we make our way back to the 150 zone. Maybe we'll create a false breakout here. Maybe we'll create a new high for the month. And but then let's say by the end of the day, maybe we will drift back down here and then kind of just go all the way towards that 50-day EMA. I have a good area of support around here near the 147.32. I really like that level. So in other words, if you're looking for some lower levels, I think that a good option here could be this territory right here, the 148.46. So as you can see, recently we are finding good support here. It was acting as a good area of resistance before. So why not to use it in our kind of advantage, and why not to you see it as a possible breakout level for the downside? And this is exactly what I'm going to do. For the upside, I am not gonna do anything with the upside, because for the upside for me, I need to see a push above the 150.16 territory, at least a push back above the 150 zone. But ideally 150.16. I do understand it's a lot here, but if it does push higher, that's fine. That's fine. I'll just wait and see. That's why, like I said, that's why sometimes it's like you have your preferred scenarios, even though maybe you're thinking, but how come? How come? No, that come. Like this is how it should be. This is how it's. This is how you need to be approaching the markets, because you don't need to kind of allow your ambitions to go wild, because you are your biggest enemy, not the market, not the broker, not anybody else, you. So because you are not maybe controlling your exposure very carefully. I know, and you know what, I don't, if you think that I'm so and I'm kind of basically, what I'm trying to say, I'm speaking from my own personal experience, from my own, what I went through, and I've been there, and honestly, that's like, yeah, that's the biggest problem to sometimes accept, that you were wrong, especially in this. So, if your stop loss got hit, yeah, you were wrong, because it's not the market that made a the market sometimes does a crazy move, but the thing is that why did you not account that in, that the market might do a crazy move before entering a position? So this is what you need to keep in mind all the time, guys. So USDCAD very quickly. So USDCAD, fantastic move here above this downside line as we continue to trade, and this is what I said to you before, that we tend to kind of test the broken trend line from the other side. So far so good. So yes, 1.3695 territory is providing good support for now. As long as we stay above it, then yes, my next target is the 1.3805 zone, and then we will take it from there. For the downside, the same story is valid, the same scenario is valid. A drop back below this downside line could do the trick for a few more sellers. GBPUSD. So we did push a little bit higher here yesterday, so that's great. This is what I was talking about. And yep, now we're getting a hold up near that 1.2182 zone, or in general near that 1.22 territory. So if you're looking for some higher levels, a push above that barrier is required. If we can get that, wonderful. I will consider a move, and this is where I will consider a move initially towards this little hurdle here, the high of the 29th of September, near the 1.2272. Or this 1.2308 zone could be a nice good target as well. So yes, for now, I am doing exactly that. If we do pop above that 1.22 territory, I will go a little bit more to the upside. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 1.21 10 territory right here, and then I'll get more excited with the downside. Euro Aussie. So far so good. Look, yesterday we did drift below that 100-day EMA, and this is what I kept on saying too, that if we do fall below that 100-day EMA and stay below it, then yes, I will go further south. What we did, we moved, we broke below, we stayed for a little bit, but we didn't overstay our welcome, and we pushed back above the 100-day EMA. So does that mean that we're going to go higher? Of course, could be the case. But what you need here is you need a break. You need a break. You need to wait for that, and you need to kind of position yourselves carefully. So for me, I will get more excited with the upside if we do push above this barrier right here. I already mentioned that, and yes, this is my barrier for the upside. If I can get that move, great. More buyers could join in. So a push above the 1.6650 could do the trick for me. But I'm not excluding the downside scenario yet, because we're very close here to this 100-day EMA. If we fall and stay below it, I'm going to lean towards the downside. EURJPY. So we're revisiting the lower side of the range here with the broken. Now, what's interesting here is that here on the daily, it might not look very exciting, but on the weekly, I'm very curious if this is going to end up being like a false breakout. If that's the case, guys, wow, that I would say what a move we had this week. So first we broke this lower side. I don't know. I mean, I kept on saying before in the beginning of this week, I said to watch this range here, watch the lower side of it. If we break it, then I'll go lower. And we look at this beautiful move. We went lower nicely. So yep, but then we started retracing back up. And we retrace now all the way back to the breaking point, the lower side of the range. So my question now is, can we actually go back inside the range? If we can, like I said, then the weekly candle, the weekly chart here looks just amazing. And maybe going into next week, we could see this one popping again to the upside. But again, that will depend only if we do move back inside here and stay inside this range. If we do not, then yeah, the downside scenario is not off the table. However, I will get comfortable with the downside if we do fall below the 100-day EMA. EURCAD. Look, I talked about this one on the 3rd of October. That's Tuesday. Is that Tuesday? Yeah. So in I talked about this one. We were still in here. We were still below this barrier, those 1.4371. I said to you, if you wait for that, we need to see a break in order to go higher. My next target is the 200-day EMA together with this 50-day EMA. Fantastic. Happy, mission accomplished. I'm not touching this one anymore for this week. So good result. Good result here. So what's next? Well, in general, a push above the 200-day EMA might do the trick here and may attract more buyers into the game. So yeah. Okay, I don't like this. This is a little bit of a mess. Okay. This, I think, needs to be here. Okay, look, if we do clear the 200-day EMA, my next target is the 100-day EMA right here. Okay, good potential target. Might be a good scenario here. So let's wait and see. If we do, let's say, move back down here, for me to start looking at some lower levels. And previously I talked about this territory because we were still here, but now I think I will use the same barrier, the same breakout barrier for the upside. I will use it for the downside, the 1.4371. If we do climb, if we do drift back below it, I will consider a move to the downside right here. And finally, EURUSD. So so far so good. Look, I mean, I talked about this this week when we were still sitting here. I said to you that, look, if we do push back about the 1.0483 territory, then yes, I will maybe consider a larger correction to the upside, potentially going all the way towards this downside line drawn from the high of the 18th of July. Well, so far I would say so good. We are there, but look, today the NFP days, right? And we will expect a volatile dollar, US dollar. Just bear with me one moment. My voice is going down by the end, at the end of this video. So we do expect a volatile dollar. So that means that what I would like to see here is, again, a drop below this 1.0483 territory. If I can get that, I will go to the downside. Then I'll aim for that this territory right here, the current lowest point of October near the 1.0448. If that gets cleared, well, guess what? A forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. So let's stick to that, or at least I will stick to that. You stick to what you're feeling more comfortable with. But look, for the upside, how we can play this game here is that, and I'm going to try to maybe reuse one of these lines. So look, this barrier here, the 1.0558, together with the high of yesterday near the 1.50 or 1.0552. So if we do push above it, then yes, I'm continuing my mission towards that downside resistance line right here, and then we will take it from there. Because we do have a good option here, this 1.0617, a good potential target. If that this, let me just mark it this way. I think this is more reasonable. So yeah, and if we do clear this downside line, well, guess what? This could open the door to some higher levels, and we could start, seeing a move further north right here. So that's it, guys. That's it. Thank you very much for watching this session. I really appreciate that, and thank you very much for joining me this whole week. I really, really massively appreciate that too. So, as always, I will say one thing, or a few things actually. So, have a great trading day today. Be careful because today is not a usual day. Have your stop losses in place. Risk only what you can afford to lose. Don't overtrade. That's the most important. If you made a profit, honestly, leave it. Leave it for today and just kind of don't overtrade and just kind of take it carefully, take it easily. That's the most important. That's the only thing that I'm asking you to do, please. But yeah, if you want to catch me on Monday, as always, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a beautiful, beautiful trading day. And I already wished you all of that, what I wished, which I normally say at the end of the video. But yeah, bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So like this video, we speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.